So I get why people are like, oh, this is probably the start of pre-wipe, but I'm interested in if this is going to be like a big push for arena as well. If it's going to be like down the rabbit hole, you have no idea what they've been doing. They've been like pitting, human beings against each other for sport. And it almost ends up being like an advertisement for like arena. You know what I mean? Like, go buy arena. You know what I mean? What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your hosts, JesseKazam.
And I'm sick.
Dude. Oh, I'm sorry to hear it.
This is my karma for making fun of you for being sick for so long for your kids. And dude, I got my ass handed to me, dude.
Was it like the flu or just?
Yeah, I think so. Just like writhing in discomfort.
Yeah.
All day yesterday. I just didn't get out of bed. Was just like sweat.
Yeah. Oof.
Fucking worst headache ever. Like runny nose, watery eyes, all itchy, and just sneezing and sore throat. And it's just fucking miserable, dude. And like I always sleep horribly.
Yeah.
Horribly. Like literal fever dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always like that's like a cold is one thing, but when the flu gets you with things like that, like the shivers and the like you're just pouring sweat and then all of a sudden you're freezing cold, like that weird stuff, man, that makes it impossible to sleep. And then any human being on low sleep is just like non-existent, you know what I mean? So it's like some of that just little stuff takes it to a whole nother level and makes life just absolutely miserable.
Yeah, it's the first day I've been out of bed in a couple of days, so
dude, brutal.
Hopefully on the upswing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, and I've been hearing a lot. I mean, it always goes around this time of year, but I'm hearing a lot of people are saying that it's just like bad, like taking a long time, like 2 weeks to feel better. My wife has been hit. She got hit with it last week. We were talking about it because she got hit with the flu Thanksgiving, which is why we didn't go up to see like my family and stuff. And she's still like, it turned into a sinus infection, which like was messing with her teeth and stuff like that. Like, it's just like, oh, brutal.
My wife was saying that she's like, I don't know why my teeth hurt.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yep. So it doesn't mean you have a sinus infection, but like when your sinuses are, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but like when your sinuses are all backed up or dirty or whatever, it can just apply pressure. It's why like you feel just like all that right here. And it can make the top back molars just start to ache. And that's what happened. And my wife's turned into like a full-blown sinus infection, which just had her like whole like jaw just feeling like really achy and a lot of pressure. And everything can just like turn into another thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, ugh.
Oh, fuck that.
Ugh. Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully for I don't know. Have you heard? I don't know who all has been like contacted or whatever. Have you heard anything about? I don't even know what the like who's in charge of this whole thing. But let me just double check. I know I've everything I've seen has been from Donut Operator.
Oh.
Coming up this week.
Are you going out?
I am.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, so it's like a creator.
Yeah.
Content creator like range day.
Yep.
And it wasn't until he reached out. I like missed his original invite, didn't even see it, and then he's like, "Yo, so here's some more information. You gonna come?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, I didn't see it." And then he's like, "Yeah, here's the guest list." And I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, I mean, there's lots of people. Did he reach out to you on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let me just name a few names. Chuck Liddell, Bill Goldberg. You know, like Goldberg, like from the WWF.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker.
Dude.
Bam Margera.
Yeah, Bam is going to be there.
Like Roman Atwood, Garand Thumb, Coffeezilla, Wendigoon. This is a massive list with a million names I don't even know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't even recognize until like I saw them.
Yeah.
But like so many people that are like I'm like super fans of their content.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching Wendigoon's fucking his like cryptid iceberg.
Oh, that's funny.
Fucking Harley from Epic Mealtime. God, who else? Oh my God, Toby Turner. That's a throwback and a half. Sequisha, Chris Ramsey, who is like the magician YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
That he also has like that brand First.
Yeah.
He's gonna be there, dude. I didn't even see this until the second time through. As I think, is it a maybe or not? I'm not sure. But Call Me Chris is someone that she's a YouTuber. She does like TikTok and all that stuff that me and my wife like love.
Oh, I know who that is. Yeah.
My wife's like, you motherfucker.
That's
like
insane.
Yeah. So I just went and I'm like, I can't say no to this. So literally this morning, I just like booked the ticket with the Airbnb.
Damn.
I'm like, I can't say no.
That's crazy. When is it?
Fucking 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay. Yeah.
Is when I'm going to be gone. So we'll have to figure out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
What we'll do next week. But
that's sick. Yeah, I know a few people that are going. I think Valian's going. Yeah, maybe one peg is going. Yeah. That's dope. That's so sick. Hell yeah, dude. That's gonna be wild.
I can't wait to see. Like, I'm like, what do I need to bring? He's like, fucking eye, ear protection, everything else taken care of. It's gonna be like BSG tank round 2. Basically.
Yeah, round 2, dude. I mean, it is. You're gonna be shooting the most obscure, amazing things. That's so sick. That's so sick. I didn't realize how many like content creators, because I figured, guys like, Grand Thumb, Brandon Herrera, like all those guys are homies, so that makes sense. But like, I didn't realize, content creators like that, like that many.
Content creators like me don't belong on this list. But...
That's hell yeah. Eat it up, bro. That's so sick. That's so dope. Damn.
Well,
that's sick. I saw you were playing some Vampire Survivors. Was that just like...
I just need something,
dude. Yeah, it's like the perfect like mindless game. Just keep you going, get you through stream. You know what I mean?
I got no energy.
Yeah, so. I saw that. That game reminds me of like, because of how insane it gets. It reminds me of like, have we ever talked about Cookie Clicker before?
I think you might have. I've never played it. I've never even really seen it.
I played it a little bit, but like I've watched videos like, it's like becoming, the one true god in Cookie Clicker, because like it goes crazy where it's like,
I just assumed there was a cookie on the screen and when you click it, a counter goes up.
That is what it starts as. And then dude, it's, I've got to send you some videos. And then you keep clicking and then it's dark. Yeah. Then you can like buy auto clickers with your cookies. And then you can buy like grandmas that bake cookies, and this all increases your cookie yield, your cookie per second yield. And then you can buy, and then you end up buying like industrial plants to make cookies, and then you buy like investment bankers, and then you start buying countries, and then you own the planet, and then you start buying spaceships, and then it's all just cookies. Your cookie counter's going up, and then like the grandmas revolt against you, and then they start taking your cookies, and you have to kill them all and their families.
Should I be playing this game?
Dude, yes. And then like
is it a browser game?
Yeah. And then like you like transcend reality, and then you like become...
Bro, how did you not bring this up when we were talking on the fucking Patreon episode where I was talking about like the games that you play?
Oh, I don't know, but this is it. You got to do Cookie Clicker, yeah. And then you like prestige, and you become like a demon god, and then you and then you go into an alternate dimension and buy all these skills, and it like
Wait, say no more. I don't want any of this spoiled
it
now.
would take like 4 years to finish the game, and the lore gets like just darker and darker and darker and like existential and nihilistic and just like super crazy. And it literally all starts as just like a cookie browser game where you try and click as fast as you can.
What the fuck?
It's insane, dude. It's insane. And it just like Vampire Survivor reminds me of that.
Dude, hell yeah. That, I don't know what this is like, parallel one stage removed, because I was just thinking about how you were talking about Cookie Clicker, which reminded me of the video idea that I want to do, which is talking about games that are not, they're not the games that's
it's like not the game you signed up for. It doesn't end up being the game.
Yep. And then I realized like the original of this was for me was actually Lost, because that's a TV show.
Oh yeah.
The TV show is like the last few seasons is not what you start. It wasn't like
on
a
an
bunch
island.
Of people, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that just reminded me too that like while I was sick, all I did yesterday to try to just get me through, like take my mind off of feeling like shit, was I just binged Dark.
Oh.
I watched the first 2 seasons, and then it was like, 2 a.m, and I'm like, I really need to sleep. I feel like shit.
Yeah.
I'm not tired, but whatever. So then I just ended up watching like a 35-minute video that was like the timeline explained. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the last season right now. I just feel like death, but that's what I needed, the first 2 seasons, and then you forgot how fucking convoluted that goddamn TV show is.
Yeah, it is. It's so good though. It's so good. And then I was so bummed that 1887 or whatever, 1870. Yeah. Didn't get renewed for a second season. What a travesty.
Motherfucker. I can't believe. I wish you just hadn't told me about it.
I know. Well, I was excited because I thought surely if Dark, because I thought this would have more appeal because it was like a lot of the characters spoke English this time. It wasn't exclusively in another language, even though a lot of it was. So I was like, surely, but no. So brutal. So brutal. Yeah, but dude, Cookie Clicker. That's I can't believe I didn't think about that either when we were talking about that on the on the PP, patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Go check it out if you want more podcasts. But we were talking about games like that, TV shows like that just end up being something so different. But yeah, Cookie Clicker. I played it a little bit, but I ended up just watching a bunch of videos of it, and it's right up that alley. Like it's right up that alley.
I've got it.
You've got it up.
You feel like making cookies, but nobody wants to eat your cookies. I have 0 cookies. I'm gonna wait to click until now. I'm gonna click once. All right, I click once.
I have 1 cookie.
I got 1 cookie. Yeah.
Gave you cookie, got you cookie, man. So there's lots of like miscellaneous things going on in the gaming world right now, but to start it off, we can talk about Tarkov's had a pretty eventful week. Since last week, we kind of left it off. I don't think anything like crazy happened. We talked about the arena tournament that's coming up, but not too long. Classic. I think it was kind of right after that. Yeah, it was. It was last Saturday because they always do events on Saturdays. It's literally my one. Obviously, the world doesn't revolve around me, but Saturdays are my like family day. I don't want to think about work. I don't want to, you know what I mean? And I open Twitter and it's like new event and it's like breaking news every 10 minutes, and I'm like, God damn it. Anyways, so last week on Saturday, they posted like a very classic like image of like, a piece of paper. There's a bunch of information. It's all in Russian. We have to decode it, whatever, like they do for a lot of their events these days. And it was like about there's a shortage of ammunition. And
oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and the event was that all the decently good ammos are removed from the traders and all ammos are banned off the flea. There's just like, you can't trade ammo on the flea no matter what it is, and all the good ammos are taken off the traders. So 5.5A1 but also 5.6A1, like 7.62 BP but also 7.62 PP, which is one of the newer ones. Like a lot of the good ammos were taken off. Basically, you couldn't buy anything that was like over 32 pen. Like it was all the good stuff was taken off the market. And then alongside that, they added a new task, a new Punisher. It was called the Punisher Harvest. And the task was eliminate 50 PMCs and hand over 50 level 25 or above dog tags.
Bro, imagine if it was you went into your hideout, walked over to like a computer monitor, and it was just OG Farmville version 1 on
Harvest?
the screen.
It was like, you had to go, dude, imagine it was like go to woods and get some carrots, and you had to
Oh my god,
harvest some carrots. That actually would have been hilarious.
You take Tagilla's scythe from the Halloween event,
dude,
and you go and
harvest
you clear the wheat.
freaking that would have been actually amazing. But it was super interesting. So the quest was pretty great because the quest is kill 50 PMCs, any map, any weapon. So it was like sick, you know. I mean, this is where it would normally be like kill 50 PMCs on reserve within this 3 square meter radius with a USP pistol. The thing that was kind of brutal for some people is hand over the 50 level 25 plus dog tags, because if you killed a level 3, it counted for your kills, but you couldn't turn in his dog tag. Or if you killed 8 people and died, none of those dog tags were found in raid. So like that was what tripped up a lot of people. Hoarders Unite, I accepted the quest and turned in 42 dog tags. I just like had a dog tag case.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Just boom. So it was super easy for me to get my last 8 during my thing. But a lot of people kind of struggled more with the tags than with the kills.
Oh god, that's so annoyingly arbitrary. Like it should be you need to kill someone and take out a dog tag. Like really what you should, in order to fulfill the quest, you should turn in a dog tag from somebody that you killed.
Uh-huh.
That's it. It
Yep.
doesn't have to be found in raid.
Yep. I think they made it,
because then it's like you got the kill and you got the tag, like kill confirmed.
Yep. I was thinking that too. I think they made it level 25 plus. This is just me guessing. It's probably not true, but it's like so that you can't like, I don't know, cheaters on fresh accounts couldn't just like fly through it or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, 25 plus, you have to be playing for a while. But it should be like level 10 plus. And I completely agree that like it should not be found in raid. There is no, like, as long as you killed it, there's no way to get, like, they already have, once again, because I know what people are typing right now, they already have a mechanic in place where if someone is your teammate, it doesn't matter. Like, there is in the code something that checks this guy is my teammate. If Valiant dies, not by me, right, so it wasn't a team kill, and I take his tag, I cannot turn that in for quests. I can't, and it only sells for 1 ruble. So there is a mechanic in the game, in the code, that literally says this guy was on his team, it shouldn't count, which completely makes that uncheesable. You can't just load in with 5 friends, kill them all, take the tags, and turn them in because they're not found in raid. There's already something in the game. So that being said, you know, why does this need to be found in raid? Because the only way to acquire this tag at this point is to go in, kill the guy, and get it. So it shouldn't have to be found in raid. I shouldn't have to survive with it. If I kill 3 people on factory, get all their tags, and die to a player scav on the way out, I should be able to turn in those tags. You know what I mean? I completely agree. That would make it so much better.
Well, and what's annoying are there's the two sides of it, in that you can get kills and either not get the tag, or get the tag and die, and you only get half of the credit. And in which case is kind of like meaningless, because really you're gonna have to kill someone else and get another one to get the one.
Exactly.
So you might as well just not count it, right? There shouldn't be these two things
it
that are
should
connected.
be one or the other. Either kill 50 PMCs or turn in 50 dog tags, because in order to turn in 50 dog tags, you have to kill 75 PMCs because you're gonna lose some of them. So it should have just been one or the other. That's an interesting point. Point.
And so you have people who can basically get away with it because they've been hoarding dog tags, like you, which is like, there's nothing wrong with, like, it's not like you're like exploiting.
No,
it's just bad design.
Yeah,
it really should be okay, the event started, you kill people and prove to me you killed people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because otherwise, people over here can cheese it by handing in tags, and then they're not bound by the requirements.
Yeah.
Or people who actually do the thing, but not exactly how you want it, and they don't get the credit for it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just so sloppy on
Yeah.
both sides.
So what happens when I turn in my 50 dog tags because I had him in my case, and then I'm playing with Seal and he's trying to get his quest done, is if I kill a guy, I'm like, here, take the dog tag. And he didn't kill that guy, but I'm giving him dog tags because, you know what I mean? So it's like, now that flaw in the quest design is a better flaw to have than if it was kill 50 PMCs on labs or kill 50 PMCs with this SMG. You know what I mean? Because that just like, you just get in this cycle of I've got a stash full of gear and I can't use any of it because I have to use this armor or I have to use this thing. So overall, I think it was better. Also, it was interesting, the starting equipment, dude, the Tarkov like armor economy went crazy because when you accept this quest, you know how some of them give you starting equipment? The starting equipment was 2 Thor armors, which is the big tan class 6 that covers arm, neck, chest, thorax, like, and 2 wrist tees and 2 wrist tee visors. So factory was just a cluster of everybody had level 6 armor, everybody had level 5 helmets and visors, and it was like insane. You also got 2
and like shitty ammo.
You also got 2 HKs. So we'll talk about the ammo because that is an interesting part of the event. The reward for the event, however, was a thick items case, which is cool because it's like end wipe, give everybody a thick items case. Like, that's sick. It depends on what your like, you know, rep is, but like around 17,000 USD. And then a bunch of unknown rewards. And the unknown rewards were the ability to purchase. So when you complete this, now you gain back the ability to purchase. None of the ammos we lost the ability to purchase. You gain the ability to purchase 7 and 40 for 545. SAI AP for 556, MAI AP for 762, 993 for 308, PBP for 9 mil. I think that's
so like all the
Uber
pen
ammos that if like everybody's got 300 of all those ammos in their stash because they find them in stacks of like 7 and 10 and they just never use them because like I'd rather use MAIAP. I'd rather use BP than MAIAP, even though MAIAP has more pen, it has less damage, and BP has sufficient pen. So you're like, you gained the ability to get a bunch of ammos nobody really wants, and the prices were crazy, and the amount you can buy. MAIAP, it's like 17 USD per round, and you can buy 30 per reset. 1 mag. 993, you can buy 10. Now, the only exception, yeah, exactly. The only exception there was 7 and 40 and PBP are huge because 7 and 40 is legitimately the best 545 round in the game, and PBP is the best 9 mil round in the game, and you just had no way of getting those prior, no craft, no nothing. You just had to find it in raid. So it's cool to be able to buy those late wipe. I'm not mad that I can't buy them throughout the entire wipe, but as a reward, I'm okay with buying those because that's fun. I love using 7 and 40 and 545. It's such a good round.
Bro, like we always talk about like scarcity, but we've never really talked about ammo scarcity.
Yeah.
Like imagine if ammo was the most scarce item in the game.
I
to
imagine
the point
it
where,
all the
like,
time, dude.
You could only have like I've got 23 rounds, assorted rounds. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
You know, like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine like DayZ, right? Like you can find a Glock and spend 3 days looking for 9 mil ammo. You know what I mean? You've got 357 ammo, you've got 308 ammo, you've got 556 ammo, but you don't have ammo for the gun. I don't want it to be that extreme, but I think about that all the time, dude, where it's like, imagine, you know, having to actually switch the gun you're using because you're just running out of ammo.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of gets rid of the metas.
Yeah.
Like if you just can't buy ammo for anything, then you actually have to go around getting guns and picking up all the ammo you can find.
Yeah. I mean,
now I feel like I'm like, I went from 0 to 60 on this, where I feel like Tarkov would be an infinitely better game if
I mean, it depends.
There was just like no ammo.
It depends on what you want out of it, but like I agree. I like the thought, like I want custom Tarkov servers where it's like that, where we get this Tarkov experience we have with this level of gun modding and stuff, but just a much scarcer economy. I've always wanted to see what that would be like. And so that actually brings us back to what the core of the event was. The core of the event was like, you can't buy any of the good ammos from the traders. And this, of course, and I'm not surprised, and I'm not even going to poo-poo on people, of course, sparks exactly what you'd think. 50% of the people think the event's super fun. 50% of the people think the event is super toxic and super frustrating. I respect it, man. Everybody has whatever. Like, everybody's opinion is valid because it's the way they perceive the game, and that's real. I will say that this event seems weirdly timed as an end of wipe event. This would be a super fun event for the first 4 weeks of the wipe. Right? So like as these guys are like flying through progress, me, right, playing 16-hour days, 7 days a week after a new wipe, imagine if I couldn't get access to that good ammo. You know what I mean? Like, but I have 2,000 rounds of, MP7 FMJ. I've got 2,000 rounds of 55A1. I've got 2,800 rounds of M80. I've got 900 rounds of BP and 3,000 rounds of PP. So the entire duration of this event, I used the same ammo. It didn't change anything. And for most people in my sphere of, people that play a lot, not even just streamers, because lots of people just play the game a lot. Like, there are a lot more 100 millionaires in Tarkov that don't stream than you think. A lot of people that just play the game a lot. All of these guys have items cases full of ammo cases full of the best ammos in the game, right? We buy them all on reset so that I never have to worry about it being sold out. I can run whatever. I want to be able to run whatever gun I want whenever I want. So I always keep enough ammo on hand. So it's like, once again, it kind of only, if you only had enough money to buy, enough that you need, or if you kind of just got to the trader levels in order to get that, now you can't buy any of that. And now I'm running around with a Thor armor and a wrist tee and the ammo I was using already. So while I didn't mind the event, I didn't think it was like a L event, huge L, OMG L event. I couldn't help but think, wouldn't the results you wanted out of this event be better placed towards the beginning of a wipe when people don't have tens of thousands of this ammo stocked up, right? Like, or you have to let this event ride for a month because you have to let people deplete their resources, you know what I mean? Which I don't think anybody would like, but it didn't feel like it did anything when it's only 3 days of it. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of had enough. And if you didn't have enough, you were kind of like, I mean, not screwed. Obviously, you could still kill people. I died of ridiculous stuff all the time. But does that make sense? Like, it just didn't feel like there was any outcome. It felt like the event was more just there's a new quest because nobody really, noticed the ammo thing at the top end. And if you're at the bottom end, it was just super frustrating because you're like, I just unlocked freaking BP and now I can't buy BP. You know what I mean? So it was interesting.
Yeah, they just need to just ban all ammo from the game and then
ban all ammo from the game, dude.
That's my new hot take, and that you shouldn't be able to buy ammo,
dude.
Period. You should not be able to buy ammo. Period.
I mean,
imagine how much differently your loot would be. That you picked up. Like your backpack would have like, okay, I've got a few stacks of 7.62 PS. Yeah, right? Like a few of your squares in your backpack are going to be taken up by the 11 rounds of 7.62 by 39.
Yeah.
And not you're not maximizing value per slot. You're maximizing the shit you may or may not be able to use or need.
Yeah. I've once again, I'd love to play. I wish there was like maybe not custom servers that everybody could make, but I wish there were like experimental branches where they like everybody could play them, everyone could stream them. We're not talking about like ETS where we're testing new features. But there's like, you can create a character on this, this instance of the game. And like, that sounds extreme and I'd love to try that too. I've always thought it'd be fun if like you could only buy the ammos you can buy at level 1 traders. So it's like 8.55, 9mm PST GZH. It was like, you can always run a gun, but it's like awful ammo. And I mean, you were just always looking for something better. You know what I mean? Like 8 rounds of 55A1 is great. I'm going to top load that in an 8R and I'm going to try and make those 8 rounds count. You know what I mean? Like it would just,
but just I'm with you, and I'm being a little bit hyperbolic, but at the same time,
I mean, I'd try that too.
think about how different the game would be if like you have this gun, and you've got 5.56, and you have 46 bullets.
Yeah. Yep.
How much different you're gonna play the game? You know, people aren't going to be Giga Chad running around spraying down squads, going after every single person killed. It's like you gotta you actually have to use your fucking brain and like,
because I've always thought about you know, a lot of people talk about like there's not a whole lot to do, right? Like you get level 40, you know what I mean, or whatever. There's not a whole lot to do. I've always loved the concept of like, we were talking about this the other day in a different different way, but it all comes back to the same thing. If the core gameplay loop is a little bit more recyclable, in the sense of like, I've always thought it would be fun to like, oh dude, today I want to do some ammo runs. So I'm going, and this is the conversation we were having, where like each map kind of has a theme, and if the loot matched the theme, that would be really cool. I need ammo runs. I'm feeling pretty confident, and I want the good ammo. Where are you gonna go? Reserve. It's a military base. Like that would be a sick reason. I need meds. Where am I gonna go? The health resort. You know what I mean? I need food. I'm going to go woods. You know, it's just like there's these themes that play throughout. And if there was some, like, I think that would be fun because it would add to the stuff to do. I just Giga Chatted all weekend long. I used all my good ammo. Going to go do some ammo runs. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that'd be kind of cool.
And think about like, you know how, you know, like once a year you got to do the whole, okay, I got a tank battery, you know, and how that is like actually one of the most meaningfully, because it completely, I mean, no, I actually didn't play a ton when tank batteries and like mule stims were like a thing. So I'm sure it's probably like trivial these days when you can probably just pop stims. And but I remember like you found a tank battery. It's like, I've got 14 minutes. It's going to take me to walk to the,
to the extract. To
slow walk to the extract. Where imagine you go to reserve and you go into one of those underground bunkers and there's a giant pallet with a box that's 3,000 rounds of 9mm that you can't open in a raid. You have to like take out this massive, super heavy
that would
thing.
Be sick.
And it's like you are gonna, you know, be able to walk out with like 1,000 rounds of like, I don't know that I'd want it to necessarily be like the best ammo unless it was incredibly rare. But you know, even if it was just 7.62 by 39 PS, if you that'd be so rad.
You know what else? You know what other mechanic that's currently already in the game that would greatly benefit from a scarcity, a more scarce airdrops. Airdrops are exclusively annoying. That is the purpose they serve in the game right now. And occasionally, if you really, really need a certain stim for samples, you'll spam them and try to get the medical one and try to get that stim. But other than that, they're just annoying. They serve no purpose. But in an environment where you're describing, where like the things are much more scarce, the annoyingness is a trade-off. I need supplies. I'm going to call in an airdrop. It's going to let everybody know they all also need supplies. It's going to be a dynamic PvP event, essentially, because in a world where everybody on the map actually needs the stuff in the airdrop, you popping it is like, all right, boys, we got the 4-man. I'm popping it over here. We gotta, and then imagine in it, it's like military surplus, 1,000 rounds of 9mm, 1,000 rounds of 7.62. We can't take all of it, so we have to decide what we want. We like physically can't take all of it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. And then it's like protect the president because some dude's 80 kilos with all his stuff and then everyone else is trying to get him out. Like that is emergent gameplay where like it would feel like an event, but it would be player driven. You know what I mean? Like you would go through a bunch of raids and you wouldn't hear any airdrops. But then when you did hear an airdrop, it would completely change. You know, that's what I love about watching games like Rust or DayZ. Because like you always have a plan. You're always trying to do something. And so one day you might be, you can, all you do is do the thing you set out to do. But then one day you go out and you're like, I need to go here. Oh, I hear shots. Those guys are raiding a base. I bet I could third party this. And it just completely derails your plan. You know, you could do raids and never hear an air. And then you hear the airdrop pop in and you're like, I'm not here for this anymore. I'm here for that airdrop. Like that kind of stuff, dude. Oh man. It would be sick. It would be sick. But so I said to say the event happened, the ammo event happened. It lasted about it lasted about 3 days, Saturday to like Monday or Tuesday. All the ammo came back. And similar to how they did all the last pre-wipes, if you hadn't completed the quest yet, the quest is still up. So like you can get that thick items case, you can get the USD, you can unlock those ammos even if you didn't do it while the thing. So you can just like keep working on your tags, keep working on your PMC kills. Once again, very glad that they made it just kills, because like a lot of people were doing it on factory. I did a bunch of the kills on streets, and that weekend the PvP was so fun. It was like juice lords everywhere, raids were full, people were chasing shots. Like it was super fun PvP those first few days. So that was pretty cool. A few other Tarkov related things, but before we get into that, I do want to take a quick second and thank the first sponsor for the episode today, and that is BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform where you can, find a therapist or find somebody to talk to about, what's going on in your life. It's something that we talk about here all the time. We take very seriously. And right now we're full swing in the holidays, full swing in the fall. For a lot of people, that's a really hard time. A lot of people have just gone through a lot during the holidays, or maybe don't have the greatest relationships with their family, and everyone's always like, oh, I'm going to see my family this. And so it can just be a rough time. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, dude, it's no joke. Like I think for as long as I can remember in like my adult life, dealing with what do they call it? Seasonal affective disorder. It was sad. Funny acronym.
Yeah.
But just like the days get shorter, it's dark earlier.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's cold. You got all the stress of the holiday stuff going on, and all the like expectations from your family and your friends, and it's like,
yep,
it's a real serious, genuine thing that everybody, whether you're young or you're old, whether you're a male or female, or fucking anything in between, just dealing with like mental health issues. There's nothing more important. There's nothing more important than that, right? Like that's your entire life. You unironically, you literally only live once. There's nothing that's more important than your mental health, and being able to use a platform, a service like BetterHelp it literally can be life changing. And for so many reasons, there's a million reasons, ways in which you can have your life benefited positively, whether it's professionally, whether it's your job, school, relationships, the way you feel about yourself, everything.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. We both have personal experience with it. We both have, tremendous like value in our lives that came from therapy. And BetterHelp is awesome because it's simple, it's easy, just a brief questionnaire, and then you can be matched with a licensed therapist. If you don't vibe with them, you're not having to call, assistants, and you cancel appointments and then find somebody else and get a reference. It's literally super easy to just select somebody else, find somebody that you vibe with, that you can trust, and then you're off to the races. It's just simple, great. There's a lot of communication. It's awesome. So BetterHelp is great. You can find your bright spot this season with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Pogcast today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/Pogcast for 10% off your first month. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
Gracias.
Gracias. So that was the ammo event. Then, just today, it's nice that we literally, maybe, push the podcast back, because literally just this morning, another event happened. BSG tweeted out a video, and it was like a la the Raid series. It was like a real, like they really filmed it. It wasn't like animated or anything, and it was or the Chronicles of Rizhi or something. And it was like a dude, a PMC in his hideout. He's looking at pictures of Killa and Rashala and reading documents, and his computer basically gets hacked, and some like dude in like a freaking I don't know. He had a mouse head on. Like it was like real like anonymous like hacker
Deadmau5?
stuff. Yes, it was Deadmau5, definitely. And I'm trying to find the full thing here. I don't remember. Anyways, it basically it was like this like super cryptic thing where it was talking about oh, here it is. It was all in Russian. Experiments on people where Rizhi's dad was the lab rat. Drugs make a person obedient sheep. Corruption, mass murder, kidnapping, forgery. This is all just a small part of what Terror Group was doing. Full list would force any person to shudder, and would surpass even the wildest fantasies. But are you ready to fall down the rabbit hole and know more? I sent a message to our mutual friend. Anyway, he has no idea who it's from and knows nothing about me. He will give you a quest. It would be the beginning of your journey. Find ciphers in Tarkov. Find out the truth. However, even outside the city, secrets and trials await you. You will need help. You won't be able to do it alone. There's a lot of work to be done in all parts in the world. I will contact you in the ARRS terminal if I see any succession. Run to see. So then we get a quest called Down the Rabbit Hole Part 1. And so like it was a super interesting thing. So this to me seems set up to be a much longer quest line. Because like remember at the end of the last wipe I was telling you about, they did the whole Terror Group trail thing and there were literally like 18 parts. And if you got it, you got like the extra 2 lines in your stash. This feels more like that because the last event last week, they just tweeted a picture. They filmed a video for this. The quest says part 1. I love stuff like that. The super vague, like, are you ready to go down the rabbit hole? And the fact that it's called down there, I'm like, oh, this is kind of sick. So we're going to see, because remember the Terror Group trail thing, there was tons of time gated stuff. Like every time there was like a quest, you had to wait 24 hours to get your next quest. Down the Rabbit Hole Part 1 is kill 15 scavs on woods, and then you have to obtain like a hard drive on woods, and it can spawn in like one of 8 different places. Then you get Down the Rabbit Hole Part 2, which is like find the source of this signal or whatever, and you just have to like walk to this certain place on woods, and nobody's gotten Part 3 yet. And like Nice Guy and his Sons of Soon are like all over it. And he tweeted out earlier, he was like, I have confirmation that we're not going to get the next part until we decipher the ARRS terminal. So like all the augmented reality stuff or all the, whatever it's called, all that, like the No Man's Sky, I forget, what is that called? The ARG.
Oh, ARG, yeah.
All that ARG stuff is all a part of it. And it's interesting.
Sounds fucking weird.
I'm wondering, so here's the thing with this is what I'm interested in is because a lot of people are like, it looks like pre-wipe, but it looks like pre-wipe. And it does. More recently, they've been doing stuff like this where pre-wipes last longer. Like instead of, remember back in the day, pre-wipe was basically like, hey, for 3 days, all the rogues are all the scavs are raiders and everything is free. Like that was pre-wipe back in the day. But recently what they've been doing as pre-wipe is basically like a month long of like events every weekend, and they, there's a lot of more lore stuff involved. And so I get why people are like, oh, this is probably the start of pre-wipe. But I'm interested in if this is going to be like a big push for arena as well. If it's going to be like down the rabbit hole, you have no idea what they've been doing. They've been like pitting, human beings against each other for sport, and it almost ends up being like an advertisement for like arena, you know what I mean? Like go buy arena, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not going to say that, but I wonder if that will be the rabbit hole that we're uncovering is this gladiatorial battle that Terror Group is running where they're forcing human soldiers to fight each other, and then it'll end up being launching arena because we know it's supposed to come early December. Maybe this is like a week-long quest chain, and then, boom. That's kind of my little tinfoil hat theory. So
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
And then the other, and then the last, I think the last Tarkov related thing is, they tweeted out that, they put the updated Recoil on the ETS, which is like, it's news because of how important the updated recoil is. You know what I mean? Like it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so we'll talk in a second, but their wording is pretty interesting. And we can kind of maybe pull some hints without, I got to be careful what I'm saying. At this stage, we are offering to test the reworked recoil system on the ETS. Other changes planned for patch 4.14 will also become available in the upcoming patches. The main goal of the rework is to create a more realistic and comfortable recoil mechanics with maximum configuration flexibility. This will allow to make balance changes based on analytics and feedback from players. We invite all participants who have ETS access to join. Thank you for actively testing. So what we can pull from that is obviously they want feedback on it, which is a good thing. Because the last time they reworked recoil and everybody hated it, they just put it in the game. I don't think the ETS servers were around back then. So they want feedback on it. I think that's good. B, really interesting wording on going for maximum configuration flexibility. What I hope that means is either an attachment rework as well, or the base stats of the gun are set in such a way that the difference between a 1% decrease in recoil and a 4% decrease in recoil isn't that big of a deal. Because that's what we want, right? Ultimately, that is what we want. We don't want there to be one, like for this gun, this is the build you use. If you don't use this build, the gun is unusable. This is the build where the gun is usable. That's how you get like weird stuff where like the RSAS, the tan RSAS handguard is the meta handguard on the SR25 and the Mutant. Like that handguard shouldn't go on any other gun but the RSAS.
Yeah.
But it's the meta one. It's got the best stats, right? So it's on every gun that can take it. So that was just like some interesting wording. And then also that last sentence, this will allow us to make balancing changes based on analytics and feedback from players. I don't know anything about game design, but we know that there have been so many different, there's so many different stats behind the scenes. And like remember when after your video came out, they were like, we reduced the camera recoil on every gun. And everybody's like, what the hell is camera recoil? And like vector, they mentioned some other stat, like it's axis vector of the first shot. And everybody was like, what do you mean? Like, what is that stat? And a bunch of people back then data mined it and put like spreadsheets. This has the lowest camera recoil of all these guns. And it was like, we didn't even know that was a thing. We just are saying recoil sucks. So I know that there's a lot more behind the scenes than just like 5 recoil and this gun has 7 and it's just a scale from 1 to 10, right? It's a complicated thing. And so I'm wondering if that last sentence of like, this will allow us to make changes based on feedback. From my perspective, I'm like, you should have always been able to make changes based on feedback, but maybe they're redoing the system in a way where like the guns are a little bit more independent, or at least the weapons are more granularly controlled so that they can say, okay, I can make this change without messing up these guns, or I can make this change without having to change every single gun in the game. It was just some interesting wording that hopefully is pointing us towards, I don't know, a good recoil system, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know.
It's hard to know.
We don't know how they set it up before.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they described it, they like, it sounds almost like it would, how do I say this? It would be in line with this description of the universe, which I'm not saying is the way it was before, but we've architected everything in such a way that it would be an absolute mess to make any major changes to how guns perform.
Yeah.
And because of that, God, my fucking brain. So as a result, we've now changed it such that we're able to tweak these things. Fuck, I don't even know how to say what I'm thinking.
I kind of get what you're saying, though, right? Like, yeah, there's a universe where it was just more complicated than it seems, and they didn't want to make any changes because it would just like, they knew it was spaghetti, And they just had to live with the fact that it's spaghetti. And now everybody's saying, we need this gun changed. And they're looking at the spaghetti going, changing that one gun
so much
is a tremendous amount of work.
Okay, so now my brain is back to where I was before. So then that makes me think that like, in that world, it would be great for them to actually architect everything in such a way that actually lent itself to like intelligent changes. And then I'm like, then thinking that they did that. That's the hard part. That like it's hard to conceive that they went through that trouble of doing that now, and that it was just like an offhand side comment of like, oh yeah, we have this thing on the test server that is like a complete and utter architect of the entire system, one of the core fundamental systems of the game. So we'll just check that, and it's like, I'm sorry, what you just said? Like,
and that would be like, so here's what's gonna happen, right? No matter what, the Recoil is going to come out, and some people are going to be like, this is the best change ever made. And some people are going to be like, worse. Like, I'm never playing this game again. Right. Literally, no matter what.
It's too realistic, not realistic enough. It's too uncontrollable. It's too controllable. Dude, you'll have every.
No matter what, that's going to happen. And hear me when I say this, viewers, that's okay. That is a certainty. That is the universe we live in. People want different things out of this game. There's enough of us playing now that nothing can make it people happy. The reason I brought that up was not because I'm just like trolls are going to troll, but because what I'm saying is like, maybe I hope that we get a win that's underneath the surface. If what you said is true and they've architected the system in a way where it's infinitely more like tinkerable now, and they really did make it, even if some guns are busted, we're like, oh my God, this is way overtuned or this is way undertuned. We might not even realize the full extent of the W until like maybe some weeks or months later, where they're like hitting it with patches, adjusting just a few things instead of having to make these sweeping changes. So that will be what's really interesting to see. They're not going to be able to please everybody. And there are so many guns and so many attachments in the game that certainly, even with the ETS testing, there's going to be some gun, there's going to be videos coming out right after the wipe. This gun's broken. This gun's OP. Everybody use this gun. Whatever, that's fine. But like, seeing how they respond to those things will be what's interesting. Because if they really did re-architect the system and they want it to be, and they want those two things, what were the verbiage? They want to be able to make balancing changes based on analytics and feedback, and they want maximum configuration flexibility. Those two things sound like W to me. And they should sound like W's to you, no matter what you want out of the Recoil. More realistic, less realistic, X, Y, or Z. Those things are good things. Being able to listen to feedback and make changes based on that feedback. And I think everybody, whether you're a Giga Chad with 1 billion rubles or somebody that's played a few wipes, I think everybody wants build diversity. And so hearing that specifically called out as a desire for this change has me excited, because that's what I want too. I miss the days where there were like 11 meta M4 builds. And that was back when the HK was king, and I never used the HK because even though the HK was better, there were 10 different M4 builds that all felt really good. And I just loved that. I love being able to build it with the LVOAC or the Mark 10 rail or the fancy rail or the short barrel or the long barrel, and they all felt, pretty good. But like the HK, there was the one build. Like if you used any other suppressor, it was unusable. If you used any other butt stock, it was unusable. You know what I mean? So we'll see. That's fascinating. Now, the other side of this has been like, we've talked about this before, so it's not worth like going down the rabbit hole or anything or getting into. But like, it's been interesting because like I have access to the ETS and I have been testing it. And normally, if they're like, don't want us talking about it, it's been a weird thing where like, because they tweeted out it's on the ETS, I've been asked an infinite amount more times what I think about it.
I can only imagine, dude.
And it's like, dude, I want to talk about it. And like, I have access. I know I have access. This is such a big deal. Everybody knows if I have access, of course, I'm going to be testing it. And so it's like, I just can't say anything, man. I'm really sorry. Like, and it was hard because we called for that. I called them out for that. I was like, I wish people knew what they were working on behind the scenes. but that was only 50% of what I was calling out. The other 50% was like, and I wish we could just stream the ETS.
Yeah.
So they gave us the half where they're like letting everybody know what we're working on. And I do think there's value in that, right? There's value in them showing the community, hey, we're working on this Recoil thing. We're taking it seriously. We want feedback from it. We just don't think we've got it right. We want feedback from it. But it makes it hard because now everybody's asking all day long, like, what do you think about it? Or people are just coming in the chat and being like, yo, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And I'm like, dude, you can't talk about it, my man. And you can't get me to talk about it because from then I'm going to get in trouble. So it's been brutal. Yeah. I wish they would adopt the Star Citizen way of doing it. Star Citizen has like a small amount of their players, super trusted members of the community, that they do NDA testing. Mm-hmm. Once a patch is ready, it goes to called the PTU, the public test universe, where any player of Star Citizen can hop on here if you want. It's obviously separate and you're not going to make any progress on your account.
Just universe. I love the nomenclature.
Yeah. And that's no NDA. And then there's the live build. I think that's cool. If they really wanted to, like, if they really weren't sure they wanted to show this to people, they could put it on the, the NDA servers. They could gather around a feedback or two, and then they could say, hey, this is a very not finished product, but we're going to put it on the public servers. Then people could stream it. Anybody could get in there and test it out and provide feedback. Then it goes to live. That would be so great. That would be so great. But at this point, as we've said before, I think there's no way that they'll end up changing the decision they've made, which is they want to keep it hush, hush. But
yeah,
that's
fucking rip.
Yeah, rip indeed. But yeah, that's all the Tarkov news. Arena is kind of just like TBD any day now. They said beginning of December. It's the beginning of December. So obviously, I'm sure you'll know when that happens. It'll explode. The internet will explode when that happens. But my tinfoil hat is it's a part of this down the rabbit hole quest line. And yeah, that's the Tarkov shenanigans.
I'm just looking forward to Arena.
Yeah, dude. I was talking to Trey, and it's like the vibe is there's 4 days left of school till summer break. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not learning anything. Why am I here? Like I hop on Tarkov and it's like, I'm not even having terrible raids, but it's like every single raid, all I'm thinking about is like, when is Arena coming out? When is Arena coming out? Like, it's just, give it to me.
They don't have it. Do we have any idea? Like a closer?
Nope. Early December.
The
The DreamHack tournament is the 13th through the 17th, which is 10, 11 days from now. The 13th is when DreamHack starts, and there's that tournament is in there somewhere. I would imagine it's going to be out before then, or then, just because, like, once again, the wipe is supposed to be end of wipe. They made it really clear when we were at TwitchCon, and they've publicly said this, or at least a bunch of people have, so I'm not breaking the news, that they want them to be separate launches.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're not going to launch Arena the 23rd and then the wipe the 28th, right? Like, that's not enough time. So all we know is wipe is end of December, and all we know is they've said they want Arena early December. So it's like, we're really in the any day now territory. You know what I mean?
It's going to be when I'm fucking gone.
That would be brutal. Because a bunch of Tarkov people are going.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
That's worse things I could be doing.
For sure. But yeah, that's the Tarkov stuff. You had mentioned when we were on the Patreon episode that you were playing a new game that shot up to like super high on your games of all time list.
Yeah. It made me actually. There's been enough games that recently I've been like, this is on my X games of all time list. And I'm like, I really should throw that together. So I played. Oh, you know what? I forgot another one. So I played 4 games that are worth mentioning. One I just finished today that was just kind of like meh.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's meh. I don't know. It was more of like an atmospheric storytelling kind of thing.
Okay.
It was called What Remains of Edith Finch.
Okay.
You're just like going through this crazy house that's like almost like beyond real, kind of whimsical, almost like Seussical. It's like this massive house that shouldn't be, with like all of the doors are sealed shut and there's like peepholes, and it's really hard to explain. But you're just learning about like the history of your family essentially. And I don't know, it was interesting. When I first started playing it, I'm like, yo, I can already tell this game's like gonna make me fucking cry.
Yeah.
And then it just, I don't know. I played it for 2 hours and I beat it.
Oh, okay.
It's not like a puzzle. It's just a story.
Yeah,
game.
just like an exposition. Like you're just like walking through this story.
I was like, it was okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, it was interesting commentary, you know, on like life, I guess. But at the end, I was kind of like, oh, huh.
I feel you.
But there were 3 other games that I played that worth mentioning for other very good reasons. And oh, you know what? That just reminded me of another game to add to my list. Oh shit!
Your games of all time list?
No,
your games that aren't
that
the games.
change.
Yeah.
Subnautica.
Oh, I've heard a lot of good things about that game too.
Yeah, that changes, not in a massive way, but
yeah.
But yeah, so the other games I played, and I guess I'll take them in maybe reverse order. One of them was called Viewfinder.
Okay. Oh yeah, we talked about that last week.
Did we? With the camera?
Yeah, with the camera. Yep.
Yeah. So that was neat. I wish it was like longer. Like I want to play more in that universe with those mechanics.
Yeah.
But absolutely worth like the purchase. I need to start just doing like game review videos.
Seriously.
I'm just like it just feels too like formulaic.
Yeah, I feel you.
Too like, I don't know.
But it was good.
I should make these kinds of things, because honestly, like what I'm so frustrated because there's like nothing to play.
Yeah.
But every now and then I end up stumbling across something that I think is worth my time. And I suppose like what's valuable with like reviews is a person's opinion or a review is completely and utterly pointless and valueless unless you are like them.
Yeah.
You like the kinds of things they like, you know, so it kind of has to be like, here are the kinds of things I like.
Yeah.
If you are like me, then these are the games I would recommend.
Yes.
It's very similar to like, you know, TV shows like Lost, right? Like you want this particular thing you like. And I think like, you know, TV shows that like X person likes, I suppose would probably, there's a few content creators that like, I'm like, okay, if they enjoy it, then I bet you I would probably enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure.
So I suppose the question is whether or not there's enough people that fit into that category with me. But yes, I don't know. Maybe I'll consider it. So the other one was The Return of the Obra Dinn.
Okay.
Which was one of those games that had been recommended to me like 7 million times.
Okay.
But every time I pull up the trailer on Steam, dude, I'm finding that like the trailers on Steam are
bad.
It's like what gatekeep me from like playing half of these fucking games. Because they're just so bad.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so goddamn bad. Especially when I go back now and I watch the trailers for games that I just played, and I'm like, you didn't sell your game.
Oh yeah,
at all.
Yep.
Like there's so many things about the game that are great that like you could have encapsulated in the 90 seconds or whatever you put, but instead it's like there was one game that somebody recommended. I don't even know what it was. It was kind of like an indie pixel art-esque kind of game.
Yeah.
That I think was maybe ARPG, maybe like roguelike, maybe like Enter the Gungeon, Vampire Survivors kind of vibe, where you just like see the guy running around and you just see the character like pixel art run around and like shooting a gun, and you just see like him shooting at various enemies, and it was like a decent song, and he would just walk around and like every downbeat of like the song would be like him in like a red environment going psh, scene would change psh, scene would change psh, and it was like it's just and every time the bullet would like go and like hit the enemies and nothing would happen, and it was like you're just
it's like what the
nothing about it is
the board of the company thinks a trailer should be. It's like, oh yeah, this game's about shooting people, right?
The gunshots to the music, man. It's gonna be sick. But it's like with Vampire Survivors, what's satisfying is like you're melting waves of people.
Yeah.
You feel like a demigod. Yeah. All of the very satisfying, like all the like visuals around like your attacks and what they're doing. But instead, it's just like you're walking, shoot. Nothing happens with the shots, and it's just like, oh, I'm a guy with a gun in a bunch of environments.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you know, 9 out of 10 Game Informer.
Yep.
10 out of 10 IGN. And it's like, that's your fucking...
That's your trailer?
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So... And I bet you if I played the game, I'd be like, yo, this is mad fun. It's super addicting. It's whatever. It's like, nah, you guys got to fucking... Game developers... It's the same thing like game devs need to learn UX. They also need to learn, like, marketing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Return of the Obra Dinn is one of those games that every time I would open up the Steam like review whatever the fuck, I would here, and this is like the trailer, and every time I saw it I'm like, I don't know if I can get past the art style, but also like I don't know, it's like
Farmouth. Oh,
it's like
whoa.
It's a very unique art style. I think they refer to it as what, ditherpunk or something.
Whoa.
It's very like old low-res computer. Like if you, it's so hard to describe.
Yeah, dude. If you can't see, I mean,
it's like pencil drawn on an old Atari screen,
yes,
you know?
Yes, literally, like it looks pencil drawn, animated pencil drawings, but on an old computer.
But yeah, so the really interesting aspect of this is you are and I won't like Etch-a-Sketch is a good way of putting it. Yeah,
Etch-a-Sketch. Yeah.
You are effectively, and without spoiling anything, you are an insurance adjuster in like the 1800s. And the Obra Dinn is the ship that has come back from being, you know, at sea or whatever. And like basically everybody on board is fucking dead. Like, and you have like the ship's manifest that has like 60 names, and it's like a name, a country, what their job was, and you have to determine how each of them died and who is who. And you do it by, so you saw earlier the guy pulled out like this pocket watch.
Yeah.
You walk up to like a corpse and you effectively like use the pocket watch, and it rewinds you to the moment they died. And it's, there's like no animation. It's like the screen goes black and you hear, you know, like the creaking of like the wooden ship hull and, you know, the fucking seagulls and whatever. And then you hear like a guy yelling, and then a woman says like, Peter, no. And then you hear like a gunshot, and then you hear running, and it's like, then bang, you're like looking at like a still, it's almost like frozen in time, but you can walk around and see you know, like if you go through this hallway, turn right, you'll see like a dude coming through the other door, like with a knife.
Yeah.
And then like you might see another scene later on where like that guy who had the knife has a knife in his throat and he's on the floor in a puddle of blood. And you're like,
Yeah.
and you have to
What
piece
the
and you
hell?
have to piece together like what the fuck happened.
That's
So
cool.
it's kind of like a detective sort of thing, but
Yeah.
it's really super engaging. And it's very, very satisfying. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's like, so there's some, interestingly enough, there's some like stereotyping where it's like, you know, so here you'll see like these are the names, and you'll see like, I'm pretty sure the guy yelling at the other dude was Irish. Like he
Oh,
had an
yeah.
Irish accent, so it's like, well, that narrows it down to, you know, he's definitely not the captain, he's definitely not the
Yeah.
cook, you know, but he could be like, you know, the gunner's mate, or he could be the passenger.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of like people from like China or other Asian countries that's like you can kind of stereotype in a way that's like interesting,
Yeah.
where you're like, I can tell this guy's Asian. I don't know if he's this guy, and every three that you guess that correctly, it like tells you got it right and then like commits it permanently.
Oh.
So there's some like guessing and some kind of inferring and some assumptions
Yeah.
you have to make, that every now and then I'll be like, I think maybe it's this. And all of a sudden it's like, bum, bum. And it shows you like the three you got right. So you're like, wait, now that means that this one isn't right and this one isn't right. And you kind of have to, it's just all about like deductive reasoning. And it was
That's
really cool.
super interesting.
It was really cool. And the sound design was really good. And yeah, it was pleasant. If you like puzzle games,
Yeah.
I would say like after playing The Witness, which is like one of my favorite games ever,
Yeah.
everybody was saying play the Talos Principle or play Return to the Obra Dinn, and both of those games are always on the games like The Witness.
Yeah.
The Talos Principle was a giant fucking waste of time. I hated it. I got it refunded, and I did not enjoy it at all. I just thought it was. I'm sure it's like after coming from the Witness, it
Yeah.
was like, ugh, you know. But I'm
Yeah.
sure it's probably fine. I don't know. It was just so blech.
Yeah.
Return to the Obra Dinn, I would say, if you liked The Witness, I think you would probably like this game.
It's somebody said in chat, a great way to describe the art style is like gaming on an e-reader, like a Kindle tablet. Like that
yeah.
looks like but huge. That actually looks a lot like what the art style would be. That's cool though. That's like super fascinating. That is one of the most unique art styles I've ever seen for sure.
Yeah, so that was neat. And it was like one guy who like did pretty much everything too. I think it was an indie game. And then the last one, which definitely was added to my for sure top 20. Don't know about top 15, maybe top 10.
Yeah.
I have to look at the list and order stuff around. Was Inscription. So Inscription, it starts off as like a deck building, like a card game.
Okay.
You start off with like 4 cards in your deck.
Yeah.
It's like and it's very similar to if you played Magic, if you play Hearthstone, where it's like there's a character that has kind of a type where it's like there are like insects, and then there are like dog, wolf kind of creatures, where it's almost like a class.
Yeah.
Like a I'm forgetting the term. And they each have like an attack number and like a health number. You know, there's like HP and or power and health, that kind of thing. And they're like these little lanes. You put them down and they fight and whatever. And you're playing with like the fucking. Have you seen anything of the game?
Inscription? No.
I love the art style of this game. So it's almost like you start off like there's this like creepy ass set of eyes here.
Yeah.
This guy is basically like your dungeon master.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So you start off and like so you've got this cockroach and a bullfrog and an opossum and then squirrels. And squirrels basically like in order to play the creatures, like the bullfrog, it costs 1 blood. to play.
Yeah, okay.
So you need to like a squirrel is free. So you put a squirrel down and then like sacrifice the squirrel and then you can play the bullfrog. And then there are others that use like bones. You have to pay bones as like the thing. And whenever something dies, you get a bone. So there's like this interesting deck building.
Yeah.
And then there's like this component where you go along like I think it's, I don't know if it's randomly generated, procedurally generated, whatever, but it's almost like a little map that has all these different tiles where it's like, so like this is combat where it's like you actually like face the guy in increasing difficulty, and then like this backpack, when you land on that, it's like you get to choose a number of items that are just like helpful items. Then there are other ones where it's like you can take a card and like sacrifice the card, and if it has like a special ability, you can bestow that ability onto one of your other cards. But so you're like, it's almost like ripping a power off of one card to put onto another card.
Yeah.
While destroying that card. And there's just, it gets really dark in a way that I can't begin to explain. The way that you, every time, so if you hit them, if like with undefended damage, there are these golden teeth that go on the scale. And when you get 5 on either 5 on one side or 5 on the other, then, then you basically win. And you make your way through the thing. You get more fucking cards. So this is what I was talking about here. So this is like sacrificing the sparrow. So it's going to make the grizzly is going to be able to fly, which means like he'll attack over the top of other people. But and the art style is so cool. Now I haven't even gotten to 1% of the game, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, the cool thing is like this DM guy, like how creepy. He's always just taking off these masks, putting on the masks, and he's like, all right, I'm this character, I'm the trapper, I'm whatever. And he's like the boss, kind of being like a dungeon master.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look over here, that's a pair of pliers. That's what you get. Remember how I said like on the map, if you choose a backpack, you get items?
Yeah.
You can use these pliers like in the middle of a game to take a fucking molar out of your mouth, to pull a tooth out, to put on the scale, to give yourself like a point of like on the scale to win. So if you have 4 points and you're like, fuck, I'm gonna lose next turn because I have nothing else, then you rip out your fucking molar. It gets like real dark.
What?
All of a sudden, at random points, there's this card, the stoat. I never even heard of this animal, by the way. The stoat is like a little rodent. They're like fucking these savage little rodents. And all of a sudden, the cards start talking to you, like mad at you that you sacrificed them, or they're telling you like, don't play me now, don't play me now.
What?
And then all of a sudden, randomly, I by accident realized, oh, what the fuck? I can stand up from my chair and I'm in a fucking cabin, and it becomes like an escape the room game where there's like a clock with like a time puzzle. There's a locked thing over here. There's like on the other side of the door, the like light is like flickering, and you're like, things are telling you like, we got to get the fuck out of here, dude.
What the hell?
This is like Lost before you find out about the smoke monster.
Yeah.
And like the cabin is the smoke monster. And if you know Lost, you know that there's so much more than the smoke monster.
Oh my god.
The game, once you beat the cabin, all of a sudden you are suddenly then in like an ARG to where there's a guy who's like, hey guys, what's up? I'm the fucking, I forget his name, like the Amazing Carter or something, where it's like a YouTuber.
What?
And it's like a found footage ARG where he's like in front of his green screen. He's like, yo guys, what's up? Here, I'm going to be opening up the packs of this old thing. We've got these old cards, the inscription. Nobody's seen this game in whatever. And then like this deck has coordinates on it. What the fuck? And then like
what?
It becomes like a full on, you play like 3 different genre
video games in the game. That's
and it's genius. I don't want to spoil anything, but you play like different games entirely. Like imagine you go to play Tarkov, and then Tarkov Chapter 2 is NFL 2K fucking 13, and then the next one you play is it's a text-based adventure. It's like that level of what the fuck,
just
and yet it carries out the concept of the cards and how you play.
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the game. There's a consistency while also completely blowing your mind.
That's insane.
While also adding on additional layers. And because they're adding on all these additional layers, and you go through the repetition of playing the cards over and over and over and over again, and it's a roguelike. So like I played for like 3 days before I finished the cabin.
Oh, so
it was my first time. I'm like, boom, yes, I just beat the boss. Now I finally understand the game. Where'd all the graphics go? Why am I playing like an NES RPG?
That is insane.
It's so genius.
It's so
genius.
So insane. So is this like the inspiration for the like games that aren't the games you think they are? And yeah, okay.
100%.
That's wild. That's wild.
Dude.
How do you like come up with that? It's like mind blowing. I love it.
Yeah, dude. You know what the funny thing is? I was like trying to make this work, and I still might in a way. And I guess if you're listening to this episode, you might be privy to my genius idea that I'll probably never come to fruition.
Okay.
I was like, I want to make a video where I talk about like games that totally turn out to be different games than what you started.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the video needs to completely pivot to being my No Man's Sky video. I'm like, that's how I finish it. Where it's like, I don't know. I was like putting 2 and 2 together, and I'm like, fuck, I'm like never gonna finish this video,
bro.
But that would be like the ultimate. That would be the ultimate way of being like, this video was about all this other shit, but no, it's completely fucking different. This video is now about like how to solve Rubik's Cube.
The freaking
like, I don't know.
No Man's Sky iceberg.
Yeah,
dude, that.
I just thought that would be like the ultimate irony, where it's like the video does what it's about.
That would be hilarious. That would be amazing. I feel like that would kind of work too. Oh my god, that's funny. That's a great idea.
The problem is that like now I keep adding more and more games to the list. I'm like, okay, well, now it's a 7-hour video again, because I just can't. I just fucking cannot keep it.
Well, Cookie Clicker is gonna be on that list. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
But yeah, I would recommend the game. Like, that's one of the games that like Outer Wilds is a game where I will choke you out and say, play this fucking game. Play the game. Just trust me, play the game.
Yeah.
For some subset of people would be like, it's not for me. Fine.
Yeah.
Sorry. For everybody else who will thank me with the bottom of their heart that they play Outer Wilds, I'm fine being so emphatic saying fucking play the game.
Yeah.
And play it all the way through.
I feel
Inscription is one of those games where if you have ever been interested in Magic or Hearthstone, or think you might like card-esque games, fucking play the game.
Play Inscription.
Like, play it. It's so fucking good.
That's cool.
But yeah, and right now where I'm at is I'm just trying to find more games that are like I know that they're there because I haven't been looking forever. And the moment, a couple of people are like, yeah, you should try Inscription. Yeah, you might like it. And it's like, a couple people, enough people that it got annoying, kind of said, oh, have you thought about Inscription?
Yep.
And then finally, I was so desperate and bored that I'm like, I don't know, I'll just try it. And then I play it, and I'm like, why was nobody grabbing me by the throat and saying, fucking play the game?
Inscription, yeah.
Why did nobody do that with Outer Wilds? And so that means that there's got to be like 50 other games that are, and nobody knows how to sell, whether it's a Steam page or whether it's in my Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to sell these amazing, incredible games.
Play this game for this reason. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's funny because it's like the sentiment in gaming right now is very much so like, they don't make games anymore. They don't make fun games anymore. It's all just like, copy pasta, redoing everything. And it's hard because the games are out there. It's like it's the 17 years of buying the same Call of Duty over and over and over again has made us like resentful of that. But what we aren't willing to admit is it's also changed us in what we look for in games. We're much less likely to fire up a game that we've never heard of because we've been gaming on the same, type of thing over and over again. It's like I was talking to somebody about this. It's very much so like that in movies. Everybody's like, dude, all they're making is sequels. It's just Fast and Furious 77, Star Wars 92. They need to make good movies again. And it's like there are phenomenal movies being made all the time, but it's a double whammy of like the big companies are just advertising these IPs that are going to make them $1 billion. But what nobody realizes is that consuming those IPs for so long has changed how we watch movie trailers and what we want to see. And it's like I feel like that's happening in gaming. It's like we've just played Call of Duty 80 years in a row and season 77 of Fortnite or whatever it is, World of Warcraft is like, they're still updating that and doing all this stuff. And there's like that it's changed how we view games. I know that's happened for me. Like I'll see a trailer for a game that, I know my 14-year-old self would be like, this is sick. But I'm like, nah, I don't know. It's not this, that, or the other. And so it's like, I feel like the good games are out there. They're just maybe harder to sift through or harder to find, or especially if they're not selling their game very well.
Yeah, well, I mean, what we need is fucking people who we trust to say play this game.
Yeah, play the game.
Because
that was marketing when we were kids. It was just our friends being like, "Dude, play this game."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel you. That's cool though. That's freaking sick. That is freaking sick. I want an update on a few things like your video, but before we do that, I do want to take just a super quick shout out and thank HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode as well. The holidays are here. Save yourself time and stress with HelloFresh and get everything you need to cook up tasty meals delivered right to your door. Use code PODCASTFREE for free breakfast for life at hellofresh.com/podcastfree. That is a free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active using code PODCASTFREE for free breakfast for life at hellofresh.com/podcastfree. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this episode. Now I want breakfast.
Yeah, dude. Wish I could taste anything.
Yo. So what's going on with the Billy Mitchell vid? Did you have to just like take a few days off from putting it together? Or are you just waiting on feedback? What's the
I got
skinny? Did Billy finally get to you and now you're not pushing the video out anymore?
We're filming this from jail. I've been no, I got the final feedback this morning. Need to make a couple of quick tweaks.
Just a couple
and which is like 5 minutes of edits and then like 12 hours of trying to export 4-hour video when your hard drive is full. And then uploading, and I keep running into and I'm actually glad that I'm figuring this out now. I keep running into like copyright, like 40 seconds of like copyright content ID, like, oh, this is from King of Kong, so I need to like flip like 30 seconds out here. Yeah. Just make it like 70% speed,
it's
and
so
it'll probably be fine.
Head just getting all that out of the way. You know what I mean? Like beforehand.
Yeah. So, but otherwise, I've been dying to get her done. I think I have everything. So depending on how I'm feeling, honestly, depending on how I feel tomorrow, if I can make the changes I need to, upload everything, and then maybe I'll have it premiere on like Monday or Tuesday.
Hell yeah, bro!
Because I did have a Patreon watch party where we watched like the final draft of it. Couple
nice.
days ago. Yeah, a couple days ago, and there was like, I don't know, like 7 people there or something, but they fucking loved it. They
That's
loved it.
so sick.
So I'm so fucking excited.
That's so
Re-
sick.
Ready
Dude,
to go.
I'm so pumped for it, man. I
Yep.
am so pumped for it. That's sick, man. That's dope. Hell yeah. I was trying to think of what went on. It's funny because last week we talked about Twitch rivals for Tarkov. I was in the Twitch rivals for BattleBit this past week, which was a cluster. I'm definitely starting to think that it's rivals is the which, well, here's the thing. It was going to be a cluster no matter what, because it was the game mode they chose for rivals was the 127v127. So they had 254 streamers playing, and it was like each captain had a squad of 8. And then it was like 30 squads, or I guess I don't know how many, 15 squads or whatever on each team. And then every game they would like reorder all the teams. But you stayed with your squad, dude. It was such. And 127v127 is already like a cluster. There's just no way you can get that many people doing what you want to do in a video game, right? That's just like too many people. So it was 5 games, and every time you won, you got $80. Everybody in your team got $80 if you were on the winning team, because it was 127 people on the winning team. It wasn't like your squad of 8 won. It was your whole team won.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was funny. We started an hour and a half late. 3 separate times they were like, all right, we're starting and go. And we get into the game, and then they send a system message that pops up halfway through the game going, this game is not live. Sorry, this is a warm-up game. They did that 3 times. They were like, next game is live. We go in live. Halfway through the game, they're like, this isn't real. This isn't the real game. And we're like, dude, what? I don't know. It was funny.
What was like the format?
So it was just the 127v127 mode. Any game could come up. It could be domination. It could be conquest.
Yeah.
It could be. So it wasn't even like we were playing this game mode. It was just 127v127. We played invasion, which is like a territory one where the more points you control, your territory pushes back into them. We played like domination or conquest, and I don't know. It was a cluster. I hadn't played the game in so long, dude. It was like I was whiffing every shot. It was crazy. But it was funny. I killed Shroud, which was my crowning achievement.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's so funny, the clip, because people were like, you just killed Shroud. And the clip was like, Shroud literally just like walks into a room and just like full aimbot. Like his aim is just godly. 3 different people. He just runs out of ammo, and I run in and I shoot him. Like it wasn't even nothing skill based at all. But it was just so funny.
You out-aimed, outshot, outperformed.
Yeah, outperformed.
Embarrassed.
The GOAT. But there were so many Tarkov people in there. I would just die. Like I died to Airwing. I died to Nice Guy. I died to Fudge. I killed Genticles and Gina. Like it was just so funny. But it was fun. Dude, I will say, so we did Rivals for like 3 hours, and it was like the tourney was just scuffed. But I will say, I played BattleBit for 4 more hours after the tourney. It was Thursday. So it ended at
so good.
Yes, it ended at 6, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect for the podcast." And you were like, "Dude, I'm just dead." And I was like, "Okay." So I played, and they had drops. They were doing drops for skins. So I just sat there for 4 more hours with like 1,100 viewers because they were doing drops, just having the time of my life. That game is so good. Like game of the year. Like no other shooter game should be like. I don't know if the Game Awards are coming up, but no shooter game that came out this year should beat BattleBit. It is, dude. It's the most fluid. It's the most fun. It is just wildly entertaining to play that game. It was cooked. The freaking Rivals was cooked because I don't like 127v127. But we just hopped out and went into 32v32 or 64v64, and it's just like mod squad. Bunch of the mods hopped into Discord, and it was just like the time of my life. Like I would play that game so much. Oh, it's so much fun, dude. It's such a fun game. So that was just like a fun little, it just reminded me of how much I love that goddamn game, dude. If you haven't, and they did like a free to play weekend, I think it might even still be free, but That's my like, if you're into shooters, that's my like grab you by the throat, especially because you have to force people to play it because it looks like Minecraft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every time it's like, oh, freaking, what is this kid game? I was like, this kid game is better than every AAA shooter game that came out this year. This kid game, everybody's like, is this Roblox plus Battlefield? I'm like, yep, but it's better than Battlefield in every conceivable way. Like it is the GOAT game.
That's so good, dude.
I found out about this. I played a bunch back when it first came out, and I know you played it a little bit too. I literally just found out this is a thing that like a Tarkov needs to adopt immediately, which is you can shoot your gun while doing anything. I fat fingered G, and the way that you throw grenades in BattleBit is with your left hand. You pull it and you throw it like this. And I fat fingered G while I was shooting, and I was literally just like shooting up into the air while I was throwing the grenade. While you're vaulting into a window, you can just hold mouse 1 and shoot while you vault in. And I was like,
that's sick.
And then the next day I was playing Tarkov, and 3 separate times I either died or almost died because I clicked my mouse 1 button like 1 millisecond before the animation. I had
and it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't shoot. I did a thing where I was in a fight with somebody and I was gonna bait them with a grenade, and it ended up working. I won the fight, but I pulled out the nade and then I just pressed 2 to pull my gun out. And nowadays people always push nades because of the 2-stage thing. So I pulled the nade out, I put it back, my gun raised up, and he was just running at me. And I had to like mouse 1 again. And then literally later I went prone into something, and there was a guy there, and my gun was pointed at him, and I had adjusted my aim up to the point at his head, but I hadn't finished the prone animation, and so I just died. And I was like, and I was just coming off of BattleBit, learning that you can shoot while doing anything. I was like, oh my God. Like it nails everything it needs to nail as a shooter game. It's the most fun. Holy cow.
Yeah, it feels so good. It feels so good to play, dude.
So that was fun. That was kind of like a goofy situation. Bro, the day before comes out next week. Remember that game I told you about? We watched the trailer.
Big booty girl.
Yeah, they watched the trailer. They had like the supercars. It was like, is this GTA or is this a survival game, dude? Yes. And what's
the trailer looked like they took every free
Unreal
game that has
asset.
Every game on Steam that has like positive reviews, like random obscure game no one's heard of that like hasn't gone viral, and they just clipped 4 seconds from each of the trailers and put it together into one trailer.
Dude. Yes. But like the story's insane because the first trailer that came out years ago was like a phenomenal trailer. It was the number 1 wishlisted game on Steam. And it just like everything, the naming thing, the copyright, the delays, the fact that like half of their employees are volunteers. It's just like so many red flags. Anyways, they started like, they set the date for December 7th, and everybody was like, it's going to get pushed again. But then they've been tweeting like, here's the like rollout time for each region. Then a bunch of streamers started tweeting like, I got codes for the day before. We're going to be doing a sponsored stream. We're giving away codes. And like they tweeted out that they put the trailer for the game in Times Square with the big December 7th release date. They tweeted this out yesterday.
Real, dude. None of this is
dude,
real.
I'm saying, bro. So on the 7th, a week from or I guess on Thursday, the day before is coming out to early access. I am fascinated, bro. I am fascinated. As I always say, don't pre-order it. Wait. There's a bunch of streamers doing sponsored streams for it. So watch. If it really comes out, just watch it, because we don't want another Dead Matter situation where it was like basically a pre-alpha dev build that they let 100,000 people get access to, and it was like so scuffed. So HODL, don't pre-order it. Watch. If it turns out we were wrong and they made a fun game, then pick it up. You know what I mean? But like, I'm just so fascinated at what's going to happen on Thursday. Oh my God. I don't know. But that is more, the day before is more entertainment for me than like an actual game. Like if it's the game they said it's going to be, I'm for sure going to buy it and I'm going to play it. But my expectation of it actually being that is so low that I'm viewing it more as entertainment. Like for me, just like the whole saga, what's going to happen, how are the servers going to be. And if I end up being wrong and it's sick, I'll just buy the game and play it. You know what I mean? It looks cool, but it's just holy cow. Fascinating.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then, bro, did you see the Mountain Dew gaming thing
I saw a little bit of it. Yeah, I don't know.
on Twitter?
Yeah, I don't know a ton of details, but
So Zach Busey tweeted, you may find that Mountain Dew's official channel is in your chat at some point over the next week, self-promoting their stream. This is a collaboration between Twitch and Mountain Dew, using AI to detect logos and packaging similar to their branding. And then there was a bunch of screenshots of of the messages in the chats, and it was Mountain Dew Gaming's channel. Big Dew fan, Mountain Dew Raid is launching soon. Keep hashtag sippin' for your chance to be featured on the Twitch homepage. And then it was like 18 plus, ends December 8th, 2023. And people were like,
simping.
People were like, what the hell? It's just so freaking weird and creepy. And like, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot additional details on the official thing. AI will begin crawling all concurrent gaming live streams from December 1 to December 8th, but that doesn't mean the AI is watching your streams or keeping any data. The AI is only looking for Mountain Dew products. So like, that's just such a fascinating thing, right? Do we trust?
Do we?
D-E-W. Do we trust billion-dollar companies saying the AI isn't really watching your stream or collecting any data on you? Maybe we do. But do we?
What? I'm so confused. What would they be collecting?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying it's just fascinating. And like, it's the perfect, this is the ingredient list for like outrage. Cause it's like billionaire company,
brands, AI corporate bullshit,
spying, harvesting us for our data or whatever.
Privacy.
Exactly.
Taking advantage of content creators.
Like if internet outrage was a drink at a bar, like the recipe card, like it just has every buzzword, self-promotion, view bot. It's just like, it's all the things, unconsensual ads. Like it just has everything.
The only thing they're missing is that and also for a limited time, your stream, whenever the bot is in your stream, it'll be embedded on fucking MountainDew.com's
Oh my God.
homepage.
And you'll have 30,000 viewers. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
oh, Christ. So like, I don't know enough about any of these things to like actually be mad about it. I don't do anything that I'm on my stream that I'm trying to hide. I don't know, like you said, what the AI would be if this was a Trojan horse and they're trying to get all my data. I don't even know what they would be looking for with AI, but it's just been...
I mean, we've already banned them from my stream.
Really?
Yep.
It's just fascinating. And just like, what I also find fascinating is like many people spending a lot of time getting gasoline, pouring it on the floor, sourcing a match, lighting the match, throwing it on the floor, and then being like, what the people don't like this? Like fire? Like, it's just what I find so fascinating is just the amount of people that were like, yeah, they're going to love this. Like, people are going to be so stoked to see the Mountain Dew AI bot in in their channel. They're going to be stoked to see Mountain Dew advertising something in, like,
someone thought this was a good idea.
that's fascinating.
I mean, you could call it fascinating. I don't know that I would use that.
It's fascinating to me. I mean, it's like, once again, scuffed and, you know, potentially even dystopian, but fascinating nonetheless. So, I don't know, man. That was just like, I saw that and I just like I said, I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to think. Yeah. So Twitch be twitching.
I have no faith in humanity, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
Already lost all the faith.
Oh, speaking of AI, did you see? I'm sure you saw the like kerfuffle at OpenAI last week or whatever.
Nope.
Wait, what? You didn't hear about it? Okay.
First I've heard of it.
So you know OpenAI, they make ChatGPT, right? You know who Sam Altman is? He's the CEO. He's like the brain behind most of it, right? And his like, there's like 700, I think, engineers that work at OpenAI, and they're like the legit just best in the business. Dude, I don't. This is, you know, right. So this is like internet history as given by JesseKazam, right? So assume 29% of all details are wrong at any given time. So let just that be the freaking disclaimer. But OpenAI tweeted out randomly. They were like, hey, Sam Altman is out. You know, we had a good run. We're looking for another CEO. And then Sam Altman tweeted like, I had fun at OpenAI. And then another guy that got fired from OpenAI, one of the other like senior engineers, he tweeted out like, nah, fam, this is what happened. And basically tweeted out like, the board called a meeting and just fired us and didn't really tell us why, because it's like weird. OpenAI works as a for-profit company underneath a nonprofit board, because OpenAI started as a nonprofit and then became a for-profit company. So like they're structured weird. The board is kind of like super duper in control. And so they just like, so it was like bombshell news in the AI world, right? Like Sam Altman is out of OpenAI along with a few of the other dudes, and like, what the hell is happening? And then like immediately Sam was talking about like, I'm going to start my own AI company and figure something out and whatever. And then everybody was freaking out, and a bunch of people at OpenAI were like, dude, we're going to quit if you don't bring Sam Altman back. And then literally, I think less than 12 hours after they fired him, it was rumored that they were in talks about bringing him back. And like the release that the board of OpenAI released specifically stated that he was not let go due to any malfeasance. Like it stated he didn't do anything wrong. It was like they attributed it to like a communication breakdown, that he wasn't communicating with the board in a satisfactory manner. So everything was just sus. And then immediately after it happened, they were talking about bringing him back, right? And then I don't know what order all this happens in, but then like Sam's like, I might start my own AI company. And then everyone's like, we're coming if you do. And then Microsoft was like, dude, we'll hire you. Because Microsoft had just put like $1 billion into OpenAI or something. I think they had like invested in OpenAI. And then Microsoft was like, we'll hire you, just like bring all of your AI knowledge here. And then he was considering that. And then OpenAI announces the new interim CEO of OpenAI. If I gave you 1 million guesses, you would never get it. Emmett Shear.
Oh, okay.
The old CEO of Twitch that just stepped down recently. Like the OG CEO of Twitch that co-founded Twitch.
Never even heard of him.
Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. He stepped down from Twitch a year ago. He's like he's been around since Justin TV. And so the CEO of Twitch gets announced as the interim freaking OpenAI CEO, and everybody's like, what's happening, dude? And then
next thing you know, Mark Zuckerberg
dude
is gonna own Twitter.
the lizard
Elon
people
Musk
rise
is gonna
up.
own the WWF. Alex Jones is gonna be. We're gonna find out that he was actually a lizard person.
Dude, insane. Then and then a letter gets written to the board with somewhere
From written by ChatGPT.
written by ChatGPT. I'm not going to get the exact numbers right, but essentially it was about 90% of all of the employees at OpenAI were like, we're quitting unless two things happen. You bring Sam back and all of you quit the board. And we set up a new board.
And not or.
And 700 people signed it. And less than 24 hours later, Sam Altman is now the CEO of OpenAI, and the board has been replaced. And that whole thing, every single bit of that happened in like 48 hours, maybe 3 days. The highest valued, arguably most infamous, closest to AGI AI company in the world. All of that happens in 3 days.
It's gonna be The Social Network 2,
dude,
starring fucking Justin Timberlake. He's gonna be in this one too.
It was crazy.
He's gonna play Elon Musk.
Yeah.
In this one.
Hell
dude,
yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
So like,
what the fuck, dude?
Because obviously some shenanigans are happening, right? Like at the end of the day, nobody I feel like nobody really knows what's going on. But it was just fascinating because it just seemed like such a huge step back for AI, because it was like Sam is going to start his own company. He's going to take all the good engineers with him. He's going to have to start from scratch, and he's just going to end up being back where they are. But it's like, it's going to take a few years, right? Because like, this is not simple to do. It's not building a log cabin. This is like insane what they put into it. And so it was just like, what's happening here? And
you know what this all was? The explanation for this is, like, can anybody name a single name of anybody on that board?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
We're exactly where we started before, except
yes.
OpenAI was in the news a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. And so was Microsoft. Their freaking stock skyrocketed once there was news that they were considering bringing Sam in, because everybody was hating on OpenAI and everybody loves Sam. And I'm not even saying Sam is like an amazing dude. I don't know anything about this guy. He could be a literal evil villain planning the downfall of humanity, right? Like, I'm not even saying, I don't know whose side to be on, because I don't know what the hell. I'm very ignorant about this stuff. But yeah, it was like OpenAI was in the news a bunch. You know, he probably got a board that was much more on board with what he wants to do. Microsoft got their time in the sun where their stock price went up. So it's
I'm telling you, dude, this is like, I could get one of my random friends from high school to like say I was involved in some like Me Too shit. Okay. Suddenly now there's like controversy. I'm getting canceled. Yeah. 48 hours later, she says, sorry, I made it all up, whatever. She goes back into anonymity. No one knows anything about her. None of the people from real life would know me on Twitch. It would be irrelevant. And it's like, I'll give you $1,000 to make some shit up and then say it was fake. And then all of a sudden now I'm sitting at like 1,000 viewers every day.
Dude,
God, this is the new meta, dude. I'm telling you, it's going to be shit like this is dystopian, but I'm telling you, in 4 years, this will be the new meta for everything.
Yeah.
When I was sitting here right before I started my stream, I was pulling some stuff up, and all of a sudden I see on Twitch, like, guess who's streaming? And they had like 100 viewers. And I was like, oh, fucking suddenly toast.
Yep.
Sitting here streaming, you know, he's got 2,000 followers.
Yep.
Sitting at fucking triple digit viewers. He's got, and I'm like, I just see him in my like recommended, you might want to watch. And I'm like,
yep. Yeah, dude. I mean, Yeah. It's the way it goes, man. It's the way it goes. Like, what a 5-head thing to do to like, dude, I should buy a DMA device and just like put it on top of my case. And like generate controversy that I'm cheating, but it's not real and I just get a bajillion viewers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Now, but
we're toast.
The other thing though you got to think about
Suddenly
is
toast.
There's going to be at some point someone is going to try this like 5-head thing.
Yeah, and it's gonna go
and they're gonna fuck it up.
I killed a guy to generate some controversy. Why am I going to jail all this time?
And now they're going to... Streamer ends up admitting to the whole thing's fake, yet somehow they've been fucking prosecuted and are going to jail for 27 years. You know, that's going to be... That's like the dystopian dystopia.
Yeah.
Where someone's taking advantage of this fucked up shitty ass future that we've like content creation and like the platforms have made possible. And they're going to like do it wrong and end up like getting themselves killed or something because of it.
Yeah.
You know, like during that 48 hours, like the girl who made up this whole thing, like her dad hears about it. She doesn't get a chance to like talk to her dad and say that it's not real. So then he comes to my house and fucking cuts my head off with like a hacksaw.
It's like, wait, this was a prank. Yeah.
Didn't Andrew Tate already do that? No. Yeah, he actually did it though.
Yeah.
He actually trafficked humans.
Yeah. So it was just fascinating. It was just like fascinating and weird and just like, you just know. It's like a thing where I'm intelligent enough to know how little I know. It's like, I don't know anything about the board at OpenAI. I don't know anything about Sam Altman. I don't know anything about what they're doing. Like, they could like literally be planning on the destruction of the world or usher us into a new era of humanity or do nothing in between. But what I do know is that like seeing Twitter headlines does not bring me closer to understanding, you know? So it's like, it was just crazy to see everyone's theories and everyone freaking out and what happened and that the company really rallied behind Sam and they brought him back and the freaking Twitch CEO was CEO for like 8 hours, bro. And it was just like so weird. Yeah. Yeah. Speed running. CEO, any % trillion-dollar company, new record. I was there for 8 hours.
Can't wait for the Carl Drops video on
dude.
How that whole thing was cheated.
Yep. Yeah. Put it on Twin Galaxies. But yeah. But that is the stuff this week. I know you're not feeling great. Thanks for doing the cast. I know with the it's been going around, man. Yucky, grody.
Well, like
I feel you. But guys, thank you so much for hanging with us. Thank you, sir, so much for being a part of the podcast fan. Once again, if you want more content like this, you can go to patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Get an extra episode every week, early access to episodes, all sorts of stuff. It gets buck wild over there, let me tell you. Let me tell you. But yeah, what's today? Oh, God, it's already Saturday. I'll try to get this up ASAP for the patrons. And then, yeah, dude, we're freaking in just red alert for Arena. Please, God, I'm excited. And then we'll get some gaming in for sure when Arena comes out. So that'll be exciting. Yeah. We'll keep you posted on what's happening next week. You have a blast at that goddamn thing. That's going to be so much fun. I hope you're feeling much better by then.
I hope so, yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for hanging. We appreciate you being here, and we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Peace.